Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where failure is often viewed as the enemy. But let me tell you right now, failure is not the enemy. Failure is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to rise higher than you ever thought possible. It's easy to blame the circumstances, the economy, or the people around us for our setbacks. But the truth is, the only person standing in the way of your success is you. The power to bounce back, to turn your failures into triumphs, lies within you. You have the ability to take control, change your mindset, and make failure work for you. You think failure is the end? I'm here to tell you, it's just the beginning. The art of bouncing back, the art of turning setbacks into stepping stones, is something you need to master if you want to achieve greatness. You're not going to get anywhere by sitting back and waiting for things to get better. The world doesn't wait for you, and it sure as hell doesn't owe you anything. So what are you going to do? Are you going to let failure define you, or are you going to take it, learn from it, and use it to fuel your rise? I'm not here to sugarcoat things or feed you some motivational fluff. Life isn't about waiting for opportunities to knock on your door. Life is about creating your own damn opportunities. And if you fail, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's simply the result of you taking action. Inaction, that's the real failure. So let's dive in. Let's talk about how to turn your failures into the fuel that powers your success. Understand that failure is a part of success. Listen closely, because this is where many people get it wrong. Failure is not an anomaly. It's not some random event that occurs by accident. Failure is a requirement for success. No one ever achieved greatness without facing setbacks, without encountering obstacles that seemed insurmountable at the time. If you think you're going to breeze through life without hitting a few bumps along the way, you're fooling yourself. The key is not to avoid failure, but to embrace it. It's not the failure that defines you, it's how you respond to it. Take a look at any person you consider successful. I don't care if it's someone in business, in sports, or in the arts. They've all faced failure. They've all been knocked down at some point. The difference between them and the average person is that they didn't stay down. They didn't let failure define them. They used it as fuel to push harder, to work smarter, and to reach greater heights. That's what you need to understand. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's simply a detour, a learning experience, a stepping stone towards something bigger. If you want to be successful, you've got to stop fearing failure. You've got to look at it as part of the journey. It's not the absence of failure that leads to success. It's how you handle failure. If you're not willing to take risks, to fail, and to bounce back stronger, you'll never achieve anything of substance. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about knowing how to use it to your advantage. Develop a resilient mindset. If you want to bounce back from failure, you've got to develop mental toughness. It's as simple as that. You can't let every setback knock you off your course. Life isn't going to hand you everything on a silver platter. It's going to challenge you. It's going to throw obstacles in your way. And if you're not mentally prepared for that, you're going to crumble. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid hardship. They're the ones who can handle it. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. And that's what you need to develop if you want to succeed. This means you've got to reframe your mindset. Stop thinking of failure as a personal attack. Stop believing that you're not good enough or that you're destined to fail. Every time you encounter failure, it's an opportunity to improve. You either learn from it and grow, or you let it defeat you. There's no middle ground. A resilient mindset means that no matter what happens, you keep moving forward. You don't dwell on what went wrong, you don't wallow in self-pity, and you don't let the opinions of others dictate your future. You take control of your own fate. To develop this kind of resilience, you need to change the way you see challenges. Instead of avoiding difficulties, you need to seek them out. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen your character, to sharpen your skills, and to test your limits. When you start seeing failure as part of the game, as part of the journey, you'll be able to keep going even when things get tough. You'll develop the resilience you need to succeed. Take full responsibility for your failures. Here's a brutal truth for you. If you want to bounce back from failure, you've got to own your mistakes. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming the economy. The moment you point the finger at anyone or anything else is the moment you give away your power. No one has control over your success but you. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that you're in charge of your outcomes, both good and bad. When you take full responsibility for your failures, you stop making excuses. You stop playing the victim. Instead, you take charge and make the necessary adjustments to get back on track. This doesn't mean beating yourself up or feeling sorry for yourself. It means being honest with yourself about what went wrong, understanding what you can learn from it, and taking immediate action to correct it. By accepting full responsibility for your failures, you take the first step toward ownership. Ownership of your mistakes. Ownership of your successes. And with that ownership comes the power to change your future. You're no longer at the mercy of external forces. You're in control. That's a powerful place to be, and it's where true success begins. Be relentless in your pursuit of your goals. Success isn't for the faint of heart. It's for the relentless. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who give up when things get tough. They're the ones who refuse to quit. No matter how many times they get knocked down, they get right back up and keep going. If you want to turn failure into opportunity, you've got to develop an unwavering commitment to your goals. You've got to be willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how hard it gets. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to throw in the towel and walk away. But let me tell you, that's exactly what most people do. They quit when it gets hard. And that's why they never achieve anything meaningful. You can't afford to quit. You've got to be relentless. You've got to be the person who keeps going when everyone else has given up. When failure hits, you dig in your heels, adjust your strategy if needed, and keep moving forward. Relentlessness means that you're not just committed to your goal, you're obsessed with it. Every failure, every setback, every rejection becomes just another reason to push harder, to refine your approach, to stay the course. If you want to be successful, you've got to develop that level of commitment. Anything less, and you're just wasting your time. Reframe your failure as a learning experience. Here's the thing about failure. It's only truly a failure if you don't learn anything from it. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is an opportunity to learn something new, something that will make you better, stronger, and more prepared for the future. The moment you stop learning from your mistakes is the moment you start truly failing. And that's something you can't afford to let happen. The key to turning failure into opportunity is reframing it. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, start seeing it as a valuable learning experience. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? How can I use this experience to make myself better? When you approach failure with this mindset, it becomes impossible to lose. Even when things don't go as planned, you gain valuable insights that help you improve moving forward. Learning from failure doesn't mean dwelling on what went wrong. It means taking a step back, analyzing the situation, and figuring out what lessons can be applied moving forward. The more you learn from failure, the more powerful you become. you start to see it as part of the process, not something to be feared or avoided. Don't let fear of failure control you. Fear is the enemy of success. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of making mistakes. These are the things that keep most people stuck in mediocrity. You can't let fear control you. If you're constantly afraid of failing, you'll never take the risk necessary to succeed. You'll never push yourself beyond your comfort zone. And let me tell you something. Success happens outside of your comfort zone. You've got to be willing to take risks, to make bold decisions, and to embrace failure as part of the process. Fear is a natural emotion. Everyone feels it at some point. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is how they handle that fear. Successful people don't let fear paralyze them. They acknowledge it, but they don't let it control them. Instead, they use that fear as motivation. They push through it. They take action despite it, and they come out the other side stronger for it. The best way to overcome the fear of failure is to get used to failing. You've got to take action even when you're afraid. The more you put yourself out there, the more comfortable you'll become with failure. And the more comfortable you become with failure, the less power fear will have over you. Fear is a tool, not a barrier. You need to learn how to use it to your advantage. Invest in yourself. If you want to bounce back from failure, you need to invest in yourself. You can't expect to achieve success if you're not willing to put in the work, to develop your skills, and to continuously improve. This is where most people fall short. They want success, but they're not willing to invest the time, energy, and resources necessary to achieve it. If you want to turn failure into opportunity, you've got to be willing to invest in your growth. Investing in yourself means making the commitment to learn, to grow, and to become better every day. It means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, who push you to be better, and who hold you accountable. It means seeking out opportunities for learning, whether it's through books, courses, mentorship, or real-world experience. You can't afford to stop growing. The more you invest in yourself, the more valuable you become, and the more opportunities will open up to you. Get comfortable with discomfort. If you want to succeed, you've got to get comfortable with discomfort. Success doesn't come from playing it safe, from staying within your comfort zone. Success comes from pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And that means getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Whether it's taking risks, facing failure, or dealing with criticism, discomfort is part of the journey. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can move forward. Comfort is the enemy of progress. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to do what's familiar and safe. But if you want to achieve something truly extraordinary, you've got to step outside of that zone. You've got to be willing to face discomfort head on, knowing that every time you do, you're growing, learning, and becoming more capable of handling whatever challenges come your way. The key to getting comfortable with discomfort is to reframe it. Instead of seeing discomfort as something to avoid, start seeing it as a sign that you're growing. Every time you push through discomfort, you're strengthening your ability to handle future challenges. The more you embrace discomfort, the more equipped you'll be to handle failure and turn it into opportunity. Build a strong support system. You can't do this alone. No one ever achieves success by themselves. If you want to bounce back from failure, you need to surround yourself with people who will lift you up, challenge you, and hold you accountable. Your support system should consist of people who are as committed to your success as you are. They should push you to be better, to do better, and to keep moving forward when you want to quit. Having a strong support system doesn't mean surrounding yourself with people who just tell you what you want to hear. It means having people in your corner who challenge you, who provide constructive feedback, and who hold you to a higher standard. These people will help you stay focused, stay motivated, and keep you on track when things get tough. Your support system is an essential part of your success. Without it, you'll be left to face failure alone, and that's a recipe for disaster. Keep the long-term vision in mind. Success doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, persistence, and a clear vision of where you want to go. You can't let temporary setbacks or failures distract you from the bigger picture. If you want to bounce back from failure, you've got to keep the long-term vision in mind. Understand that the road to success is not a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and unexpected detours. But as long as you keep your eyes on the prize and stay committed to the journey, you'll eventually get there. Setbacks are just a small part of the journey. They're not the end of the road. If you keep pushing forward, if you keep taking action, and if you stay focused on your long-term vision, you will succeed. Failure is just a temporary obstacle. Your vision is the thing that will keep you going when everything else falls apart. Keep your vision clear. Keep your focus sharp, and never let go of your dreams. Embrace strategic risk-taking. The idea of failure often paralyzes people from taking the risks they need to achieve greatness. Risk is part of the game. Let me make this clear. If you're playing it safe, if you're not taking bold risks, then you're doing it all wrong. Playing it safe may keep you comfortable, but comfort is the killer of success. You'll never achieve anything extraordinary by sticking to what you know, to what's easy, to what feels safe. If you're going to bounce back from failure, you've got to be willing to take calculated risks and to push the envelope beyond the ordinary. Risks don't just happen by chance. There's a strategic way to approach them. A risk taken without thinking is a reckless gamble, but a well-calculated risk is an opportunity to reap massive rewards. Every successful person has taken risks along the way, big risks. They've stepped into the unknown, made tough decisions with imperfect information, and taken leaps of faith that paid off handsomely. These risks weren't blind, they were carefully considered, informed by experience, intuition, and the relentless pursuit of growth. A big part of learning how to bounce back is reframing the way you think about risk. Rather than seeing risk as something to avoid, understand that calculated risk is your ticket to growth. Sometimes, in fact, you need failure to succeed. When you step outside your comfort zone and take that risk, you may fail, but the lessons from that failure will give you the wisdom you need to adjust, pivot, and come back even stronger. The key is never to allow fear of risk to paralyze you. Embrace the challenge, evaluate the possibilities, and go for it. And remember, those who never risk, never rise. Master the art of adaptability. The road to success is rarely a straight line. You're going to face unexpected detours, hurdles, and challenges that throw your plans off course. To bounce back, you've got to develop the skill of adaptability, the ability to adjust and evolve in response to changing circumstances is absolutely essential if you want to navigate failure and transform it into opportunity. You cannot rigidly cling to one approach, one method, or one mindset. You've got to be agile, constantly reassessing and adjusting your strategy as necessary. If you can't adapt to changing situations, if you can't pivot when things aren't working, then you're going to remain stuck. Success is about your ability to evolve, to change direction when needed, to update your approach when the environment around you shifts. The most successful entrepreneurs, leaders, and influencers are those who have mastered the ability to adapt. They understand that failure is not a final destination, but a part of the journey where they must learn, iterate, and keep evolving. Adaptability means letting go of past failures and not allowing them to dictate your future. Every setback can be a powerful tool for learning how to improve and evolve. You must remain open to change and be willing to take what you've learned, no matter how painful, and incorporate that into your new strategy. The goal is not to avoid failure, but to use it as the fuel for your next step, for the next iteration of your plan. Those who don't adapt, who are too stubborn to adjust their approach, are the ones who get left behind. Learn how to embrace change, and you'll unlock your potential to bounce back and soar higher than before. Create your own opportunities. If you're waiting for someone to give you a break, you're wasting your time. The world doesn't owe you anything. You've got to create your own opportunities. Waiting around for the right moment or for someone else to give you permission will only leave you frustrated and stagnant. You need to take control of your future, not wait for it to be handed to you on a silver platter. Opportunities all around you, but you've got to be proactive and go after it. When you face failure, instead of feeling defeated or passive, get creative. Ask yourself how you can turn the current situation to your advantage. How can you take what's broken and make something new out of it? Too many people sit back and wait for someone else to hand them success. They wait for the economy to turn around, for the perfect opportunity to appear, or for someone to give them a chance. But that's not how it works. You have to be the one to create the opportunities, to make the deals, to go out and get what you want. When you decide to take full responsibility for your success, you stop waiting for others to open doors for you. You find ways to create your own path, to push through the walls and barriers that others see as insurmountable. That's how you bounce back, by being relentless in your pursuit of new opportunities, by being willing to create them when they don't exist, and by refusing to let failure stand in the way of your potential. The greatest opportunities are the ones you make for yourself. Go out there and take what you deserve. You want to bounce back from failure? Then stop fearing it. Stop seeing failure as a roadblock and start seeing it as the key to your next level of success. Embrace risk, be adaptable, and create your own opportunities. Master the art of resilience and keep your eyes on the long-term prize. When failure knocks you down, you get up, adjust, and keep moving forward. That's the formula for success. So get out there, take what's yours, and never let a setback define you. Your future is in your hands, and it's time to take control. Make it happen.